Welcome to the Hot Seat. I'm your host, Maggy Martinez. Our guest today is Nailah Grant McFarlane, a lawyer, a judge, and a community leader. She is running to become the state court judge of Fayette County. With over 18 years of legal experience and a decade on the bench, she has built a record grounded in fairness, compassion, and real results for families in Fayette County. Nailah Grant McFarlane says justice is not about the law, it's about the people. Today we hear directly from her about how she plans to bring integrity, accessibility, and a voice for all to the courthouse. So, let's dive in.
Hot Noise Radio presents Starbound Studios starring Maggy Martinez and the Hot Seat Interview. Y ahora con ustedes, Maggy Martinez en Caliente. And now, Maggy Martinez.
Well, she is Nailah Grant McFarlane, and she's running for state court of Fayette County. Welcome, Nailah.
Thank you so much, Maggie, for having me. I really appreciate the invitation, and I'm looking forward to our discussion.
Well, your campaign is centered on fairness, integrity, and today we will move from the principle to the practice, right? The voters of Fayette County deserve to understand not just your ideals, but your plan for the bench. So our first question is, Nailah, tell us a little bit about your journey. What inspired you to pursue a career in law and ultimately to run for the state court judge for Fayette County?
Well, I'll tell you, Maggie, to begin with, I am running for state court judge of Fayette County because I saw a need for higher standard. And I'll tell you that I didn't stumble into the legal profession. I pursued law.
Excellent. Woman in power.
Thank you. And I will also say to you that I grew up in a small, close, diverse community, much like my current Fayette County community where my family and I have resided for the past decade. And I had a childhood friend by the name of Omar who had big dreams. And his dreams was much like so many of ours. Take care of his family, make a better life for himself. But Omar never got the opportunity to pursue that because he was wrongfully convicted. And he was convicted because he did not have proper legal representation and very little judicial protection.
And when this happened?
This happened when I was a child. I was about 15, 16 years old.
Oh.
He was maybe a year or so older than myself. But we were both in high school. And witnessing this miscarriage of justice has shaped my commitment to ensuring fairness in courts. So for the past 19 years, I've served as an attorney and advocate. And for almost a decade now, I've served as a judge. To ensure that fairness is rendered to all that come into the courtroom. And so I saw in Fayette County, good enough just wasn't good enough. We can be doing better. And I want to offer that service to my community as we're growing. The court needs to be more modern, more efficient.
Right.
And we deserve professionalism that reflects our community. So that's why I'm running.
Well, don't forget, we are on YouTube and not also Spotify now. Every Thursday at 8 p.m. I want everybody to know that I wrote a book. It's called The Secrets of Campaigning, So You Think You Could Run. This is the way to support the show. So it's important that you go to Amazon and buy it and make sure you pay for it and make sure you not only give it to your daughters, give it to your friends, the ones that are running for office. Not only that, so you know exactly what a candidate goes through, Judge? Because it's a lot, right?
It is a lot.
It's a lot, okay? And subscribe, click that button because that way you can see the show every time it comes out. This show is specialized to bring our progressive candidates or non-partisan, in this case, as a judge, So you know how they think and what they bring to the table. And if you feel it in your heart and you want to make a donation to the show, just visit starboundpr.com and make your donation, because it's important that we have this platform, right? And the conversation, right?
Absolutely.
Well, with the experience that you have as a prosecutor, defense attorney, and judge, how has this breadth of roles shape your view of justice and how it will guide your decisions on the bench?
Well, I'll tell you, Maggie, most judges only have experience on one side. And so as a former prosecutor, I learned the weight of public safety. And as a defense attorney, I made sure to understand that the Constitution was a defendant's shield. So as a judge, I'm not wondering or guessing what's going on at the tables in the courtroom because I've been there. I'm able to look through a neutral lens, having been on both sides at one point in time or another. And so that means I'm not swayed by the theatrics and, some of the things that may go on in the courtroom. I am focused, laser focused on the law and applying the law and the facts in the case. And I think that that is true impartiality, and that's what it looks like for the court.
Excellent. You're championed the idea that justice should be fair and accessible for everyone. Look what happened to that child when during your childhood, right? What concrete step will you take to ensure the courtroom is welcoming and equitable for all Fayette County residents?
So thank you for that question. And I'll tell you, when I think about fairness, I don't think about being nice. I think about being clear.
Excellent.
All right. And so what that means is fairness requires predictability. When someone goes into the courtroom, they ought to know what to expect based on the law. Not because you know the judge or the judge knows the lawyer, or not because it's a, childhood friend or relative, but because the law is clear and that they can expect that I am going to render decisions based on the law every time, regardless of who's before me. And that's important because I think that when you show that consistency in courts, it allows for our citizens to trust the judicial system.
Well, backlogs, case delays, or outdated processes, and you mentioned before we need to somehow modernize the system, affect many people's life. If elected, how will you tackle efficiency and timely justice while maintaining fairness?
Another good question. And what comes to mind is justice delayed is justice denied. So I will make sure that our courts are running efficiently and timely. I don't believe in wasting people's time. And that's not just for the defendants or the people before the court, that's also for the attorneys that are representing them. Sometimes they have multiple cases in one day, sitting around on large dockets and hearing, the judge on the soapbox for, 30, 40, 50 minutes. That's a long time. And I understand that that equates to loss of money, when people could be at work, when people could be spending time with their family or caring for loved ones. And so when people come to court, I have every intention of handling their business and sending them on their way. I think that is what an efficient court does. And I intend to look at the statistics, the numbers, right? If there's a matter that can be handled without coming back to court multiple times, we're going to do that. We are going to hold people accountable and then send them on their way, allow for them to continue on with their lives and not have to spend years in state court, because that's not what that court is designed for.
Well, misdemeanor, criminal matters, protective orders, traffic cases, and other everyday justice issues impact ordinary citizens. what's your vision for handling this kind of cases with care, balancing accountability with compassion?
So, again, I've had the pleasure of serving as a judge in municipal, magistrate, state, juvenile, and superior court by designation over the last almost 10 years now. And in doing so, I recognize that a traffic ticket versus a high staked case is just as important to each and every person that comes into the courtroom. So it is important to focus on being prepared as a judge and taking every matter that comes before the court seriously. So recognizing, some people may say, oh, it's just a traffic citation, but something as small as, or some people would consider small as driving on a suspended license, that can take away someone's livelihood.
That's right.
And so it's just as important as any of the other matters that come before the court. So it will be my pleasure to serve prepared, efficient, and again, following the law, making sure that each case is handled in the same way. Again, so that people know what to expect, being predictable and efficient, all at the same time.
Well, you notice we need to bring the best of the best to this show, and we are talking with Judge Nailah Grant McFarlane, and she's running for state court judge of Fayette County, and so far so good. So as a wife, as a mother, community leader, how does your life experience shape the way you view family related or juvenile court cases compared to other judges?
So I will tell you, as a mother, I find myself looking through the lens of a community leader that protects the entire community. And I recognize that young people need guidance and boundaries. So I believe as a judge, one of the best things that I could do to serve and assist young people is setting clear boundaries. And holding, again, them accountable, but making sure that we are not doing so by ruining their lives, but setting them on a path to succeed. Again, so that they don't have to come back to the court.
That's right. Yeah. Guidelines are important. Well, you have been recognized for your leadership and service, including awards and mentoring young attorneys. How will you use that leadership in your role on the bench to foster community trust in the judicial system?
When I think about the response to that question, I think about being consistent, being prepared, and certainly being clear. And so when I mentor some young attorneys, I make sure that I instill the importance of those things in their practice, and making sure that they understand that people are depending on them. And when I say people, I'm not just talking about their clients, I'm also talking about the courts, the judges, right? We are looking at attorneys to bring out the truth in a case, right? Regardless of which side that you're on, we're supposed to be seeking the truth.
The truth and nothing but the truth.
And so I try to instill that in our young attorneys in hopes that they will bring that forth in the courtroom.
Excellent. Transparency and respect of people's rights are central to your platform. How will you ensure your courts remain transparent, respectful, and responsive to all members of the community?
So I do my absolute best when it comes to transparency, to have clear procedure and practices in court, right? And in doing so, what I'm saying is same rules, same treatment, same professionalism for everyone that comes into my courtroom. We don't have to have a relationship. You just simply need to present your case. We're going to apply the law to the facts, and we are going to render a decision based on those things solely.
Well, in this show, we always make a question that is not submitted to the candidates. And what is your view about the due process and what's happening with the immigration here in Georgia and in the nation?
I believe that due process is a right that each and every person that comes into the court system is due and should be afforded. And that remains the same in every area of law. And so my hope is that because our forefathers have already looked at a lot of these issues that are coming up or resurfacing and made decisions, that people in power and authority will follow the law.
This is important. This is very important. Well, given changes in law, community needs, and social justice concerns, how do you plan to balance traditional legal standards with the need to reform and equity in Fayette County?
And I just go back to the same principle that I've been saying this entire time. Consistency, right? We want to make sure that everyone is treated fairly, everyone is treated the same standards, same application, same law. And I believe that that is the best way to gain the trust of our citizens and of our community.
Excellent. Well, for the voters and viewers who are just getting to know you, what's one thing you want them to remember about Judge Nailah Grant McFarlane and why they should support your candidacy?
I want voters to know that efficiency is a choice. Excellence is a choice. And you have the opportunity now to vote for a judge that is efficient, prepared, disciplined, and grounded in the law. So I'm asking each and every one of you, vote for me, Nailah Grant McFarlane, for your next Fayette County State Court Judge.
Well, no campaign without funds can be possible. What's your pledge to the citizens of Fayette County?
Thank you. I ask that each and every one of you join my campaign. Support my campaign by donating. You can go to my website at www.electjudgenailagrantmcfarlane.com. You can sign up for the campaign. You can donate on that website, and you can also learn more about me.
Well, thank you, Judge McFarlane, for joining the hot seat interview.
Thank you for having me.
It got a little bit hot, right?
It did. It did.
Well, we share with you today her vision and dedication as a fair justice in Fayette County. Your commitment and integrity and fairness stands out, no doubt about it. To the viewers out there, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, the justice system affects all of us. If this conversation resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more interviews that matter. I'm Maggy Martinez, the Hot Seat Interview. Until next time.